Hey everybody, we are live. You are here today. You see my little background back there. I'm telling you, Marilyn Green is moving on up. Okay, you just hang with me and stuff and take the journey. You hear the music in the background? That's something new too. Hey, but I'm just excited, and thanks to Kiera Lewis, who is an excellent marketer, excellent. She do everything good because she's just great like that. Okay, she got me looking real good today, and you are listening to Girl Who Don't You Know? It's a talk show with me, Marilyn Green. All right, and you know what we do? We transform minds one show at a time. Okay, before we get started on this very, very important topic, which is us versus us, when black girls attack, okay? Let me say that when I say black girls, I say that because I'm a black girl, all right? But I'm sure that it really doesn't have a color. It just has a position or a slant or a posture or what someone wants to do to other people. So we're just going to unpack it as from just saying, hey, what's really going on? So I tell you what, you may want to do some comments. So go to Girl Who Don't You Know on Facebook and you can post some live comments. I love to hear from you. I like to engage my audience. So get on there and start to talk. Give some hearts. Do what you need to do. Okay. So let's see here. All right. I'm sorry. I got distracted. Ignore me, okay? Ignore me. All right. So if you have any events coming up, please advertise on my show. Contact me at girlwdyk@gmail.com, or you can IM me on Facebook. You know how they do that, right? Okay. And also, I am in search of brothers doing it. Okay. Please contact me because that's going to be one of my shows. I know I got a sister's doing it, but I know some brothers out there that's doing it too. So I just want to get you out there, celebrate you, and let other people see what you're doing. And maybe they might say, you know what, hey, I think I want to do it too. Okay. So let's stop here now. Again, you're listening to Girl Who Don't You Know? Talk show with Marilyn Green. So we're going to get started in just a minute. And I don't know, Kiera, how long that music lasts, but we can stop it if you want to. All right, thanks so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, hey, I got a few guests on here today. Thank you so much, Kiera. I got a few guests on here today that is uh, Dr. Desarie Holmes. I got Dr. Brenda Jones. I got Angela Sims, and I'm hoping one more person come on. But nevertheless, this is going to be a show I believe like none other. It is something that has been on my heart for years, probably decades. I didn't even know it. But once you experience being, I'm going to use the word bullying, but I'm going to use another word called mob. Once you experience being mobbed or attacked by people in your workplace, at your church, on the street, you just come into a room and people start looking at you strange and start saying, you could tell I don't like her. You don't even know me. Okay. So there's certain situations where I guess your spirit know my spirit. And so you're gonna say, I'm going to attack her because I see what she's about. She's confident. She cares about herself. She's carrying herself in a certain way. And I just don't like that because guess what? I don't carry myself in a certain way. But guess what I say to you or anybody else? Well, you need to get with that person and say, tell me what you're doing. Okay. Tell me how did you get like that? Some of that is DNA, of course. Hello. But some of that stuff, they had a mentor. They had somebody to show them exactly how to do a thing. So I mean, it's all good. So let me go back. Anyway, so I'm going to bring them up as a panel and I'm going to just shoot some questions to them. And I'm not putting my panel on the spot. We just do it the way we do it, the best thing, the first thing that comes to your mind. So, panel, you can relax, okay? I'm not going to give you nothing that's going to flip you out or nothing, okay? So, the first person I'm going to put on this stage is Dr. Desarie Holmes. And then I'm going to put Dr. Brenda Jones. I don't see y'all names down there. I don't know what's going on, but it's okay. And then we're gonna add Angela Sims. Okay, so we're all here. and we're all on a panel. And I am going to start it off by saying, what did you think about when I said, come on my show? Because guess what? I want to talk about when Black girls attack. What did that do for you, Dr. Jones? Dr. Holmes, started off and tell me what went through your head. What did you feel?
Honestly, I'm like, finally, let's have some real conversation. Let's have some real dialogue, because this is a very, very real thing. And we're not talking about it. And, because we're still dealing with the vestiges of colorism, we're still dealing with the vestiges of hair texture, we're still dealing with the vestiges of socioeconomic status, where you went to college, you
Mm-hmm.
know, if you are for some people, not only where did you go to college, but then what degree do you hold. All of these things can manifest themselves into very cliquish behaviors,
Mm-hmm.
and you can be the outsider. I will just say this: I'm a transplant here to this Metro East area. I am originally from Burlington, New Jersey, home of the Burlington Coat Factory, by
Okay.
way of North Philadelphia.
All right.
But I've been in this area for 26 years. And for some people, no matter how much service I have done, no matter how much I've put into the community, no matter how much I represent and advocate, I am still an outsider.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
still an outsider. And that's and so and I still, in some circles, I still get treated that way. And people will say to me, well, you're not really from here, so you don't really know. And so I can be shut out. So that's a very real thing. So I was happy. I'm very, very happy. And let me just preface by saying, people, I am a clinical psychologist by profession, but you just might get Dr. Daz. You might just get Daz. So I'm just keeping it real. You
You
might
might
just
get
get
Daz and not Dr. Desiree Holmes. Okay. All right. You gonna get what you get. That's
You
what we're
get
gonna
what
say.
you
You
get.
gonna get what you get. All right. Okay. And just take it. So Kiara, do we have any comments out there yet? Let's look at them audience. What we got out there? Anybody in the comments? Good evening, Panna, Annabelle. Annabelle, always their super number one supporter. Hello, Anna. How are you? Anna, you didn't tell us where you was from. I know though. You're from Rockford, Illinois, all the way up there by Wisconsin, where the cheese people are. And who else do we have? Hello, Maryland. Girl, who don't you know? You know I know a bunch of people, girl. You don't know a bunch of people. And Kat, Katina, my soror now, Katina Rupert. Greetings, ladies. Well, greetings there. And Mary Stapleton Carr, all the way from Mississippi. I love to say that every time. And one time Mary didn't come on, and I had the nerve to call her. I had her number. I called her and said, Mary, where you been? Okay, but anyway, thank you so much for that. And please, please, share the feed. Let everybody come on. All the women's that's been calling you and talking about, girl, I don't know why they treat me like that. They need to be on here. They need to know, and they need to see what we're gonna do. All right. So let's go on. Dr. Jones, when you heard that topic about, hey, come on my show, what did you start thinking about? What made you say, yeah, I need to do this doggone thing? Go for it.
My story is actually very similar to Dr. Holmes. I am from Chicago and I have been in Texas 2 years. Now we know Juneteenth is about Texas and not knowing they be free. They still don't know they be free.
Okay.
Maryland, I am struggling. Oh my God. I am used to a little bit more of an understanding of who we are and what we bring to the table. So when you come to a place where people don't really have that, I don't fit in. You can actually see how they look at you because you dress a little different, you talk different. And I have talked to people that are who originally lived in Texas, and they said, yeah, it is different, and we do see different. And people that are coming in, we see them differently.
Mm.
So I'm, as a Black woman with other Black women, trying to figure out, what is this? It is so separate, and it's hard, and I'm struggling to learn, because I'm not going backwards. I know I'd be free, so I refuse to go
You are free.
backwards.
You are free, Dr. Jones. And I'm glad we on. I just want to tell you free, so you don't have to wait 2 more years or
I
three
don't have
more
to wait 2 more years
years.
to
You
get it.
free. You free.
Yeah,
Okay. Everybody know you
yeah,
free.
free.
And I
Right.
wanted to do this show on the 20th because the day after Juneteenth. So everybody that didn't know they was free, y'all free now, okay? So you free to talk any kind of way you want here. Okay, y'all free. Y'all's free now. My people's free. Okay.
Give us
So,
And, and the last thing I'd say
go
is,
ahead.
I'm hoping to get something positive out of it, because I am excited to be a Black woman. I am excited about all the possibilities. And even with all that's happening now, there is joy, and there's something going to come of this. It's happening. This tension is happening for a reason.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Kiara, who else do we have? I see those comments coming in there. You know, my people like to talk. Kim King. Hey, Kim King. Good evening, everyone. How you doing? How you doing, girl? How you doing? Okay, hello, everyone. Sky Michelle. Oh, boy, it's on now. Okay, Sky Michelle in the house. You. Who else do we have? That's it. Okay, then. Well, nevertheless and stuff, Cherilyn Vonn, I know you popped in here, and I'm just gonna go this way. And what's your thoughts on this title that I brought up and what I'm doing? Give it to us the straight way, that only way you know how. Go ahead.
I actually feel there was a much needed discussion. And what better time and place than, on your show at this particular time as we are celebrating Juneteenth. Like she said, most of us still don't know we free. But yeah, I just felt there was a much needed conversation. Um, I've had some of the similar experiences that the other ladies have shared. And another thing that I experienced, colorism runs deep within the Black community, us against us. And so I've had that experience to ignite it. And like I was telling you when you first told me about this show idea, I said some of the most betrayal that I've ever experienced have come from women.
Mm.
Mm.
Have come from women who you think, I've always been that type of person. I'm not in competition with you. I'm in competition with myself. Each day I wake up, it's me against me.
facts.
But to just have people who you don't even know and that don't really even know you to go out their way to either try to pull you down or stop you or whatever the case may be. So you know, I think it's a much needed conversation and I'm excited to be a part of it.
I wanted you on here anyway. She being modest, but she be bringing out some profound stuff. You need tape recorder every time you talk to her, so y'all know. Get your tape recorder out if you talk to her. Angie Sims, I ain't forgot you. Tell us what's up. Tell us what's up when you first heard
Hi,
this.
sisters. Hi, sisters. That's the first thing. Hi, good evening. I believe this is going to be some dynamite dialogue tonight. I think it's going to be healthy and we will be able to resolve. I'm intentionally looking for resolve in this dialogue tonight. We have generations upon generations that need what we have. So I really believe this is a stellar conversation, especially for the hour. This is a very, as a pastor and a mentor, training young ladies who don't have, this type of dialogue or resolve. Uh, this is going to be healthy, and I believe for ages, people will come back and look at this and say, "Hey, you know, um, it's just time. It's time. Most of this stuff is just a major distraction. The
Yeah.
colorism, the sizeism, the sexism, all of it is to distract them from the collective. And so tonight we are resolving this, and we're going to be a collective body to intentionally make change and shape the world. So I'm excited.
Amen.
Wow. I love this.
Amen.
I love that. I love that
Amen.
intentional. Angie Sims is the pastor, so she coming for the amen. So y'all did it right with her. Uh, Okay, okay. Cat Rupert said, "Help us, Lord, as women to come together and not be envious of each other, but to
Yes.
understand that we can all shine." Now that's an amen right there. Okay, because
Amen.
we can all shine. So why do you guys think that anybody can speak up? It doesn't matter. Why do you guys think that people have, and I believe each one of you all have been targets, okay? Why do you think that person targeted you? Okay. You can just, it doesn't matter who. Why did they target you? I'll just say why they target me because I'm pretty. That's why I know. No, no.
Yes, you
Go
are.
ahead. Go ahead, Dr.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And you know what? And so I know that I listen, I have my flair, you know. I mean, I'm a East Coast chick.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do my East Coast thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, and so for some people, you know, to come on to a job and you know look a certain way and have a particular you know kind of you know look sometimes can
Hmm.
cause people to like you know to
Yeah.
give you the who
Mm.
she thinks she is, oh here
Yeah.
she go, right.
I love that.
You know, and the thing is that I am so far from that, right?
Yes.
But I am into how I like to dress. I like to dress, and so I put a lot of time in, and I have a retail background, and so I put a lot of time and effort and
Hmm.
energy, and just that alone.
Right.
They've not spoken to me. I've not opened my mouth, but just that alone can sometimes do it. Then you add on the Dr. Holmes piece to
Oh
it,
boy.
right? Oh my gosh. You don't even know what the doctorate is in. You don't know what I went through to get it. You don't know anything. And you just add that. So so sometimes and then when I do open my mouth and like I said, I think it might have been Dr. Jones, when I open my mouth, well, you know, being here, you know, I'm not from here the moment I open my mouth because, you know, I still have my Jersey accent. So those things, and when you just kind of bring those things and you just combine those things, that really makes me an easy target, right
Right.
off. No conversation, none, zero.
Right.
That
You
makes me
know what, Dr. Desiree? Let me just use this example. When you first saw me, and I remember we became friends. She first saw me. I came into the room and she said, "I don't know who this lady is, but I think she important. I'm gonna get to know her." Okay, so she on my show now. So right there was a resolve, okay, of how people should handle somebody that they see, okay, and they think that that person is. You need to get to know that person, okay, because you know that that person got something going on, but instead of getting mad, what do? You get with that person and
because
learn.
wherever she sat, I sat. Okay, so when she sat right there, I was right there next to her, or as close as I could get. I've asked people if they would mind moving their seats. So yeah,
Okay, I'm just saying, but she did the right thing. We talk about resolve. So everybody out there that's hating and mad and upset because somebody is shining, you know, why are you mad with them? All you need to do is get with them and say, "What's up with that shine? Can you give me just a little bit of this?
Got it.
Just a
But
little
see,
bit."
you two were mature enough to value the beauty in each other. And
Mhm.
that's because you're both confident.
Yes.
When I find that those attacks come, it's usually from someone that's insecure,
yes,
that lacks confidence, and
yes,
sees that in you. And instead of embracing and trying to be, they're envious because
right.
they see either they're not where they need to
To
be
be
or they haven't done what they need to do to get there, and
Right.
they hate that. And so that's unfortunate because
Yeah.
Right.
most of the time those people that you're hating on are really good people, and you don't know their alabaster box. You don't know what they've been through.
You do
You
not.
don't know what they did to get there.
Okay.
So be careful about who you hating on because you don't
Yeah.
know what is happening.
Okay.
And
So here's the
value
question.
everything.
Here's a question. Do you all feel that competitiveness amongst women is a generational mindset?
mm.
I
Mm.
would I would say yes. I
Okay.
would say yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Cheryl.
because as women, that's what we're taught. From we're taught to be the best, be the prettiest, be the cutest, be the outstanding. And I agree 1,000% with what Dr. Brenda said to the previous question. Most times for me, they attack me because I'm unapologetic. I know who I am,
Hey,
and I stand in it.
Sorry, not sorry. Go on.
And so, as you know, Merlin, I have a T-shirt line, and one of my first T-shirts was "Be envied, not envious," because there's nothing about me and my glow that you can't have.
Right.
So, I always tell people. I talk to a lot of young ladies, and they was like, "Well, I got haters. I got haters." No, you don't have haters. You have fans in denial because they don't know, because they are attracted
Come
to
on.
your light
Come on.
and they don't know how to activate their own.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
and I don't, and the mindset in this day and age is competition, but I'm not Dr. Brenda's competition. I'm not Angela's competition. I am her compliment,
Yeah.
because if she has something that let's just say she has a degree or whatever it she may have, that pushes me to bring my A game. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to hate on you for what you went through,
Mm-hmm.
because your testimony and what you had to go through, I probably couldn't have made that one. I
Come on.
probably wouldn't have been able to walk in your footsteps.
Come
Right.
So
on.
it's not, and if it is something that I strive to be, why can't I come to you and say, sis, how did you do that?
That's right.
Show me how you did that. Now,
That's
in this day and age, they have this motto where the game should be sold, not told. That to a certain degree, okay, I get that. But at the same point, there's nothing, I'm not going to knock you off your ladder simply by you reaching down and helping me up.
Yeah.
Because
that's right.
there's room for all of us to stand. And what women, us as a team, we fail to realize is there's strength in numbers.
yeah.
There's
Mm-hmm.
strength in numbers. A lot of things are happening right now because we are divided. The
Right.
household is broken down because we are divided. I know,
That's right.
back in the day when I was growing up, it took a community. It took my aunts, it took my grandmothers, it took my neighbors. It's everybody watched out for each other. We no
That's
longer have.
That's right. And that's a good point you brought up and stuff, that people always talk that it takes a village and they use that so much just loosely. Okay. But it really does take a village. But it takes a village that's cohesive. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see what a Cat Rupert is saying again. They see your potential, and because of their insecurities, they try to dim your light. But
Mm,
mature women know iron sharpens iron, and we value
absolutely.
each other. I like that right there
I
about
do
the iron
too.
sharpens iron.
I do
But guess
too.
what? We got so many people with so many insecurities, they don't even know that they iron. Okay.
And
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a good
yes.
point. That's a good
But
point. And I'm
I'm sorry,
sorry to
Angela.
cut whoever.
Mm-mm.
I just wanted to say while she was talking, I'm really gleaning off of you guys. It takes a village, but what has happened is there's a disconnect within our community because there's no more common union. Common
Mhm.
union means that you were visible and that you were present to show somebody the way without jealousy, knowing that I have to mature and go further. So I need you to get this so that you can thrive. And the other thing is, I'm what you said. I want to go back to that at the beginning. I am my I am shows up with me. That's what make people jealous. My
Okay.
I am shows up with me. And so what I
Ah,
mean by that, we should always, as feminine, as the femininity, the softer side, the palatable side, we should always show up with grace and poise. That's going to shut down any idiosyncrasies and regurgitation from outside forces and family forces. So I
wow.
show up with my I am.
I
And I
Wow.
love
hope
it.
you show up with yours too.
But
Okay, come on.
can I
Come
ask
on,
some
show up with your
questions?
I am. Show up with your
Okay,
I
show up with your because I just read a book this morning on I am. I got you, girl.
am. Okay,
But
okay.
that's the
Brenda
question I
says she
want to
got
put
her I am, and she gonna keep rolling with her I am. I
I
am.
am.
Okay, Dr. Des, what was you gonna
Yeah.
say?
So here's, and before the we were having some great discussion prior to us coming on. And one of the things that I said, a couple of things: assimilation and integration. And so for our community, for our culture, right, the question over the last 40, 45 years has started to become, was that a good thing for us? Because look at what we lost. And so when we go back to the level of competition, and so being that level of competitiveness, and so sometimes for me, is it really the competitiveness that we're seeking after, or is it the other's validation that we've made it? Is it their validation that I am acceptable? Is it their validation that I am worthy? And so when we're looking outside of ourselves to be validated by people who don't often understand us or don't want to tolerate us, right? But we're looking to them, number one, we're looking to them to be the gold standard.
Right.
And then we're looking for a level of validation that says you made it, and however you define that success, whether it's a figure, your salary, whether it's a title, whether it's a position, whether it's the home you live in, the car that you drive, or all of the above or some of the above. But it's that level of outward, external, validation, because what is intrinsically valuable to us may not always be externally valuable to others. And so when we begin to look outside of ourselves, and this just kind of reminds me, a few years ago, I was a breakout presenter for Dr. and Dr. Roddy. And I was there for their women, and women wilt thou be made whole. And so whole, WHOLE, because so many of us have a HOLE. We have a hole inside of ourselves. And so those traumatic experiences oftentimes get triggered to where we don't oftentimes know who we really are as an individual, which can lead us down those insecure pathways.
And you're right. And I like what Kat is saying here. Learn social and environmental. You are who you hang around. And that kind of speaks really about that village. Annabelle says, I've always been comfortable in the background. I have recently discovered I have an opinion, a wealth of knowledge to share. But when I began utilizing my discovery, things began to shift. What? Jealous of me? Why? Let's stay right there. Why are people? I know why they mad, okay? I know why they mad. But why are you staying mad? And why do you, instead of going to the positive, you go to the negative? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Instead of them, you could be mad, but at that point when you're upset and you hating and say, I can't stand her, and I don't even know why I can't stand her, but I can't stand her. You had a choice right then to say, I'm gonna go on the bright side, or I'm gonna go on the negative side. But so many people choose the negative side because what? It's easier to cut somebody down. Or why are they doing it? Tell me, Dr. Brenda.
So I think, and I'm gonna reach to Dr. Holmes for this, because I think you have to be emotionally intelligent to understand where your opportunities are. A lot of our women have suffered trauma in some form, and I know, Marilyn, you ain't trying to hear that, but I am saying
they need to stop beating up on people.
I don't even know what I don't know, right? As I evolve as a woman with age now, I'm 61 years old, and in that evolving, there's things that come up that I'm not happy with, and I seek a counselor, a coach. But a lot of women don't understand, and they live with that negative, and they live with that hurt and that pain, and you are benefactors of it. So how do you know what you don't know? And I ask you that, Dr. Holmes, from a clinical perspective. I might not know I've been like this my whole life. My mama was like this. My mama's mama was like this. I don't know I hurt Miss Marilyn.
You did.
Well, I
want
did.
you to know. Okay.
So that what you're talking about, that speaks to, it could be historical trauma, because culturally as a people, so there's the historical piece of it. Then there's the intergenerational piece of it that everybody in my family, has is like this, and or that generational piece. And I think I don't know if it was Kat or if it was the other person that said, and so then when you break down those environmental factors, when you break down those hereditary factors, your DNA, and when you break down just your own constitution. Dr. Naeem Akbar, I talk about this book all the time because it's a treasure trove. Dr. Naeem Akbar, Breaking Psychological Chains, right? And he really, really gets into where he says that we are still enslaved. And again, but how? Where? Psychologically. And so there's that, it's flowing through our DNA. And there are some of us that are so entrenched with where that psychological enslavement, because you're right, we don't really understand who we are as an individual, because we don't really understand what our history is. We only recognize it by what people have told us who we are, as opposed to really understanding and researching for who we are. So that those traumatic experiences, be it now, be it 400 years ago from now, right? They're still with us, and it's still locked within our DNA. And so that when you begin to, and you're really tapping into epigenetics. And so when you begin to say,
absolutely.
Excuse me,
that was my intent. Absolutely.
That's a big word.
Absolutely.
So when you begin to tap into that epigenetics, that's what Dr. Akbar, that's what he's talking about, right? He's talking about, so it's in us. And so those of us who are elevated to that level of consciousness, be it spiritually, be it culturally, be it psychologically, emotionally, and that emotional quotient, that your EQ is, people always say it's IQ. No, it isn't. It's EQ. It's EQ. Because I can teach you how to read and write. I can't, but there's some things that's intrinsically within you that just has to be a part of who you are. Now, I may not recognize that it's in me, but those who are seers and have sight to see, then it is up to us to bring those things out of us. But those personality, state, traits, characteristics, that's where we are. And so when we see people who are consistently mean, irritable, and denigrating of others, here's the question, Dr. Jones. This is what you ask them. You ask them, you say, what happened to you?
I don't even want to know. I really don't want to know. Okay, let's just go there. I just don't really want to know. I'm sorry. I don't want to know, because there is nothing wrong with you being kind. You ain't got to have nothing happen to you to be kind to somebody. Okay, I'm sorry, Dr. Diz. I had to jump in because something weren't taught for people to be dogging out people the way they dog. I'm sorry, I flipped out. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to also say it goes back to what we said: community, common union. Both of those things, when we had them, they brought about the communications that we needed. It led to the communication. So when we were with the outside factors, that didn't bother us. Now we're dealing with broken communication, broken common union. And I think this show, this dialogue is right here, is healthy. It's healthy because all of us have a common trait, and that's femininity. That's our common union. And I really just believe that, like you said, we have that constant trauma. We're in a area where slavery was the last thing to be abolished in the East St. Louis area. So although the shackles may be gone, the echoes are still here, the sounds, the heartbeat, the fear. One generation in the 70s was afraid to do this. The 60s generation was afraid to do that. 80s, 90s, and 2000 beyond, they don't care. And it's like,
they're tired of it. They're tired of being scared. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's look at True Prince. He says it's not always the women that have traumatic trauma. I like that. Traumatic trauma. men that are so-called good guys accepts a lot of negative effects. I'm glad you brought that in, True Prince, because I wanted to say this about the men. Someone told me this, I be getting stuff, texts and everything, okay? That says, what do you guys think about this? Men don't make it any better. Sorry, True Prince. When they categorize us, what makes the competition makes us which makes competitive structure even worse. Okay. So if you look a certain way, let's get into colorism. Okay. If you got long hair, a long time ago you say that's good hair, but now you got to say she bought that hair. Okay. Anyway it goes, it's all it's all about the hair now. You know what I'm saying? And if you listen to some men, they like that hair, but then they don't like it. It goes, it's crazy. But nevertheless, what do you think about the competition that men make us do? What's going on with that? Tell us about it, Dr. Jones. What's the competition about? What men doing to us? What they doing to us?
Look, I see Dr. Holmes biting at the
Dr. Holmes, you want to say something? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, so because when you operate from a lack mentality, that there's not enough, when you operate from versus more than enough, when you understand that the God that I serve is a God of more than enough, I don't have fear that there will not be something or someone for me. But if I believe that this is all that there is, it puts me in a state of fear. And once I am in this state of fear and my anxiety, now I've got to feel like I got to fight to get, as opposed to understanding that what God has for me is for me and can't nobody come along and take it. So my kingdom spouse, my kingdom husband, my kingdom wife, whoever, whatever it is that God has for me is for me. But when you come from a place of lack and there's never enough, that is something that draws me to always have to be in fear and in defense of I got to defend then whatever it is that I do have. And so that then helps also to create this sense of competition. That also helps to create this sense of that I gotta then somehow denigrate you, put you down in order to big up myself, to make me feel good, to make me feel like, no, I'm the one. Choose me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
And we have a generation of that, right? Look at me. Look how many likes I got. Look what I've done.
That's right.
But I think for me, I purposely and intentionally, and you're spot on, Dr. Holmes. I think as someone who suffered trauma early on in life, I think as I evolved to be a stronger individual and start to know myself, there are things that I've learned as a woman of faith that I think our children don't have. Psalms 27 is my favorite, where it talks about you don't have to fear. There is no reason to fear when you have a God that supports and get, just as you just said. But I believe that the average person does not understand and know that. So what is the premise for which they're functioning from? They're just functioning from what they know. They don't know anything different. And they don't have a foundation. And too many of us as older women are acting like the young kids, so they really don't even have anybody that they could learn.
Wait, Dr. Jones, what you saying?
These ladies don't have a
Dr. Jones, what you saying? They looking like their daughters? What
they
you
looking
saying?
like that. You can't take the TikTok and the videos. Like we
And the
as a
genius
people have
makeup and all
lost
that.
our footing. We have lost who we are.
Ew.
Oh God.
Transitioning. You're teaching.
Look,
They don't have any type of structure.
No mother wit.
No.
Somebody said, say that, Dr. Jones. Sarah said, you better say that doggone thing, Dr. Jones.
Generations, when you have now, so we there. When the average median age of grandmothers, in our urban settings,
Yep.
It's 20.
is 42. Mama's still trying to get her thing on. She trying to
I
get
ain't
that
mad
off.
at her. I ain't
She
mad
trying to
at
get
her.
You know what,
that
Marilyn?
off.
Take
Oh,
your
she got
camera
some
off.
kids. She got some kids.
She
I ain't
trying
mad
Put
at
in
her.
the
look. She
corner.
trying to get that off.
Her life over. Her life
See,
over.
you
Get with
know,
it.
We gonna put you in the
so
time
she
corner.
still got her body, right? She still got her looks. She still got her body. She's still dropping it like it's hot. She can still
It's
pull
hot. It is
Ray
hot.
Ray, and and then woo woo. Okay, we going in here. We doing that, right? And then
Right.
you got her, her daughter, and Big Mama ain't 80 no
Ain't
more.
big,
Big Mama ain't, but she your age. She my age. I just turned 57 last
Right.
Wednesday, right? So we now
Okay.
big mamas. We're the big mamas. But here's the thing. And even my son said, I don't have any grandchildren yet, but my son said, look,
Oh,
lady, when it's time for us to start having these grandchildren, you don't get no cute little name. You a grandma. Hands on
Well,
the
Thank you.
hey,
with
that's
it,
what
right?
my
You a
name
grandma.
is.
Ain't no Shay
My
Shay,
name,
mommy.
my
And
name is
grandma, she
You,
grandma. Right.
my name is
you a grandma.
grandmother.
Angela, I'm grandma.
Okay.
Right.
I'm
So,
grandmother, and they
so
call me that.
and they
Okay,
see
grandmother.
so when you talk about Dr. Jones and Pastor, when you begin to talk about where's the level of respect, well, shoot, we got to respect ourselves first and foremost. We
Come
And
on.
can't
where's the
be
level of
running around
maturity?
here, looking like and acting like a thought, and be and then get mad when people treat us that way. You have
That's
to
right.
have respect for yourselves. When you don't have a mirror in your house? You didn't see what you look like
It
when you
don't
walk
work. It
past
don't
that
work.
mirror? Oh, it don't work. Okay, well then I ain't got
Okay,
nothing
their
to
mirrors
say.
don't work.
That's
Hey,
the Walt
let's
Disney
stop
mirror.
this.
That's that Walt Disney mirror they looking at.
They
That
got
Walt
that
Disney
mirror that
mirror.
come with
Funhouse
in
mirror,
the scary
Pastor.
house.
It's a funhouse mirror, Pastor.
They got a
I'm
scary
sorry,
house.
Lord. But
They
my
got a
question
scary
is,
house mirror. What you saying? The mirror to
that
make
Walt
them
Disney
fat and
mirror,
skinny?
you get to see whatever you want to see, right?
That's true. I love that. Cat Rupert says, we talking about fear is false evidence appearing real. Okay. That's exactly what it is. But you don't have to fear anybody else. Let's talk about it. You don't have to fear anybody else. You need to get with them. People say, well, Marilyn, why did you tell her that type of perfume we got on? Because it ain't going to smell the same. Okay. You go buy it. It ain't gonna smell the same on you as me. Simple analogy. So you don't have to be mad or upset with anybody else. So we talked about the problem. So guess what? I'd be remiss if I didn't say, what's the solution? Okay. What?
That's so good. Oh my God. You are right on we are right on target. And when you think
Hey,
about it,
that's me, baby. That's me, baby. Go
yeah,
for it.
we right on target. And when you think about it, the real question is really deep down inside. Are you comfortable with you?
Okay.
That's the word all in all. Are you comfortable when you cut these lights out and these high beamers? I forget what the kids call this little setup over here. When you cut all this stuff off, take all your Mac factor off. Are you comfortable with
Yeah.
you? And that's the most healthiest resolve. I could sit on a forum with three beautiful women,
Mm-hmm.
different dispositions, takes, everything. When we get off of this platform, I'm comfortable because I respect the queen in you and I respect the queen in me.
That's right.
That's
And
my
True Prince
I am.
said,
Are you
that's it.
resolved?
I like
Yeah.
it. I wrote that down. Are you comfortable with you? That's a great start. True Prince says women really fight themselves quicker than others when it comes to their appearance. You ain't lying. They be tearing off hair weave and all kind of stuff. They been flipped out on somebody. You're right.
Snatching
But I
off
like that
edges.
resolution. Being comfortable with yourself. That is a great start. Lady Des, what do you say? Dr. Des, tell us something. What's up?
No,
What's the
well,
resolution?
you know what? That is a good point because, like I said, I just celebrated my birthday last Wednesday. I flew back in Tuesday, flight delayed. I was tired. I was exhausted. Went into work, leadership conference on Wednesday, and I didn't spend it with anybody. I spent my birthday all by myself. Now, some people would say, "Oh, you spent your birthday by yourself?" It was by choice.
Mm-hmm.
I chose. You know why? Because I was in a place and I needed a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to know that I could take the time, even if it was my birthday, I could take that time for me and give me what I needed, that only I could give me. Nobody else could give me what I needed in that moment. And I needed quiet space, and I needed to go with inside of myself and not be apologetic to anybody, not have to be, I'm sorry because I was feeling a particular kind of way. I was grieving, heavily grieving and mourning, and I needed to grieve. And I needed to do it in such a way that it wasn't going to offend anybody, that it
Okay.
wasn't going to upset anybody or make anybody else uncomfortable, because I was very comfortable with my grief.
That's right.
And I did not need to have to express nor explain myself to anybody. So therefore, I was very comfortable spending my birthday by myself. And I'm secure enough within me. And I still go back to those questions of, people may not know what is going on with them in terms of diagnostically or clinically, right? They may not know, but they know enough that something is not right within me.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, again, it's not right within my spirit, whether it's not right within my body, whether it's not right within my mind, my emotions, something's not, it's not well with my soul.
It's
It's
not
not
well.
well. It's
Right.
not well.
It's just
And
not
they know
well.
it. And it goes, somebody said something about denial, right? Earlier.
The
So
fans.
they choose to go and remain in that state of denial, because what's familiar is easier for me to deal with, the
Mhm.
devil I know, and what's
The
familiar,
devil I know.
than it is for me to step outside of myself, expose myself, open myself up. And as Black people, we hate to be vulnerable. We
That's it.
cannot stand to be vulnerable, not even to ourselves.
But that's huge right there, to be vulnerable. Now, Dr. Jones, tell me exactly how we resolve this.
I think it starts with us as individuals, and I'm gonna draw and take some from Pastor Angela. I believe that we have to have God in our life. We have to have something that's bigger than us, something that will center us, because as a woman of God, I have learned that He has shown me those imperfections that Dr. Holmes just talked about. He has shown me where that grief or that hurt, or where those things that have taken me off my square, He has helped me understand that. And the only way you can have that is to have a relationship. And to
Amen.
have that relationship with Him will ground you
Amen.
and support those things that you don't know. He can remind you, remember when you were 7, this happened, and this is what you need to do. And I'm not negating the fact that you might need additional help, but you can't do it on your own. This world is bent toward evil, and it's just so hard.
Yeah,
It's just hard for a Black woman. It just
it is.
is.
It is hard. Cat Rupert says, when you get alone and look in the mirror, do you like the woman?
Yes,
That's a
yes.
profound statement. That kicks on with you, Angie Sims, on this about, hey, do you really like yourself? Okay, are
That's
you
right.
comfortable in your skin? So let's ask this question here. Okay, okay, so can you guys share with me why collaboration over competition is so important? I'll start with you, Dr. Jones. Okay,
Collaboration is so important.
versus competition. Why do we need to collaborate? Okay, we know about the strength in numbers. Okay,
Absolutely. I think as women, we have to find a secure place where, as Dr. Desiree brought up, where you can be vulnerable. I
mm-hmm.
need to be able to say to someone, this is not a good day, I'm feeling depressed, and I need to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with a group, and I don't know if any of them are on, but we talk and text each other every day. We're at a job where it's very few minorities, and so a group of us as Black women and a male get together and we text, and there's comfort and peace in that, where we ain't in competition. I could say I want to go to law school. Ain't nobody got daggers for me They're supporting. Girl, go to school. Do that
Right.
thing.
You have to find the
You
money.
need
So,
that. And I don't think most of us have that.
No.
You
yeah.
need it.
That's a
We
good
need
that's a good example of we need collaboration, we need more of a sister circle for real. Okay.
Yes,
Not
yes.
not something like you say you going to school, girl, you too old, dog.
Girl, you know you don't
No.
need to be.
When you gonna
Yeah.
stop? Just pay your student loans. Stop going to school.
Thank
Okay.
Right.
you.
Just say, but that kind of stuff right there, that the collaboration of getting a place where you're safe, where you can let go and people
Yes.
be okay with you without taking your stuff, and then they'll say, girl, that's good, and then turn around and talk about you like a dog, the only dog. Okay. And that's something
Mhm.
that I'm serious. That's the
True.
reality of what people do.
True.
Sometimes they're wanting to know your business not because they care. They want to they
That's right.
care. They want to care
That's right.
to take it to somebody else so they
That's
can talk
exactly
about you.
right.
But until we get to that vulnerable state where I feel safe telling you, Dr. Des, Angie, and Dr. I feel safe that you ain't gonna try to tell me no dumb stuff to say, girl, go look, it's dumb stuff. They be giving you some advice that's stupid, okay? And that's where it is. Now,
Mhm.
Cherilyn is not on the stage, but she's writing here for me, and she says, we resolve this by first working on ourselves. We
Yeah.
must understand that self-love has nothing to do with self-pampering. We must heal the little girl inside and understand that my fabulousness has nothing to do or takes nothing away from you. She says clarity, confidence, and collaboration. Evelyn Jameson says, I find women sometimes don't meet you where you are. You ain't never lied right there. They don't meet you where you are, but some kind of way we're going to need to pull them up to where we are
Mhm.
and say, we
Mhm.
all on the same page. We all trying to get a piece of the pie. I don't want all the pie. Let me have a quarter of it, okay? Let me
You
have
don't
a
eat
take.
it already.
Give me some of the pie, but we have to stop this always beating up on each
Each
other.
other.
True Prince said
Mhm.
black women are very competitive because they had to fight for everything they got. What they said, all my days I had to fight. Now we need to stop fighting. Okay. Okay. And
Did
sometimes
she go color purple, y'all? She went color purple.
I got them with the color purple. They
Hey,
sometimes fight the wrong people. I like that, True Prince. They be fighting against me, and I'm your best friend you can ever find, okay? But
Yeah.
somebody down the street, okay, Susie Q, they'll give her everything, take care of her, give her raises, do whatever. But I'm the one who got your back. I'm ride or die, no
Absolutely.
matter what you say.
and
Absolutely.
I like
I am
that. I
right.
like what you said. Yeah, that's
That's
good.
true. They'll be.
It's,
I know, girl. I done lived it. Okay, mean
yeah.
girls. Hashtag mean girls ain't us. Okay, we be trying to help people,
We might
and
need to write a shirt
everybody
on
trying
there
to
with mean
dog us
girls
out.
have us.
Hey,
Yeah.
mean girls ain't us. That's the name.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that's it. That's
like
And
what I'm
you
gonna
know
that.
name
what?
my movement.
That's good. That's so good that you
Hashtag
said that.
mean girls. We ain't us. All
When
us.
right.
Like towards
You
us.
know it's not proper English. We
That's
ain't
it.
right.
That's it. But we got to get together. And I am saying tonight that we have to resolve within ourselves to say that we need to help each other out. Now, if you got problems and all that and stuff, we're not opposed to you going to see people to help you with your problems.
That's
Okay.
right.
I'm an advocate.
That's
Okay.
right.
But however, stop taking it out on people that you really don't even know.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
you
right.
get to know me, and everything they said, all your get understanding.
Understanding.
Understand what that person about. Don't be dogging them out because she's prettier. She got long hair that's really hers. Okay, if it ain't hers, you're just mad at her. Come on. You got to stop this. We have got to stop this hate, and we have got to make a movement that everybody says, I want to get on board with this. All you sisters out there, you need to get on board with that. All you brothers on there, you need to help the sisters to get on board with it. Okay, because this is something that I'm not gonna let go. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be 66 this year.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm not letting it go. So you need to get with me, and we're gonna rock this thing. Okay, let's go there. We're gonna rock this thing, and we're gonna take this thing across the nation. Okay, I'm serious. I'm very
Oh yeah.
serious.
Well,
Do it.
Lady Marilyn, here's the other thing. I do, and I think I think Pastor had said it, and I think Dr. Jones said it as well. And I know you did, because I remember, I took Lady Marilyn to lunch and asked her to mentor me. Asked her. And she kind of looked at me.
I'm like, what?
And she was like, what, me? And I said, yes, because I recognized I was operating in an arena at a level that was very politically charged, if you will. And I don't mean political as in politics, but political as in positions. And there was, and I understood that. But I also understood it too late. And so because I didn't realize the power that I possessed, and so therefore I didn't leverage it the way that I could have. And that was a hard lesson to learn, but praise be to God, I learned it. Thank you, Jesus. I learned it.
Thank you.
I will never be in that position again to understand, recognizing the level of power that I possess and how to leverage it as a leader. But I knew I needed help. So I reached out to Lady Marilyn and I asked. I put it on the line, and I
gave it to. I gave it.
I was vulnerable about it, and I said it. I need help.
Yep, and she did. She came to me, and I was in shock. But I'm like, need? Okay, and I'm like, but I gave her the business. Okay, so y'all know I gave her the business. I gave her the lowdown, because y'all, if y'all know me, I give lowdowns. Okay, so I did give it to her, and she accepted it. I mean, and that's just the way it is. We are out there for you. People such as myself, Cherilyn Vonn, Angie Sims, Dr. Jones. We ain't jealous of you. We just want you to know this: when you win, I win.
Come on now.
When you win, I win. Come on.
And you know what?
And that's it. When you understand how powerful you are.
That's the key, though. Most of us don't.
When you recognize,
we don't.
But it goes back to also what you and Pastor said too. First and foremost, when you recognize whose you are,
come on,
as well as who you are and whom you belong to, and you stand in that, and you recognize and operate from that place first and foremost. And I think Dr. Jones said it, and Pastor certainly said it. And when you can operate from that, everything else then will then emanate from that. And so you can then collaborate. You then can mentor. There's a young lady right now. I reached out to her. I saw some things in this young lady, but I said, she's not going to make it. This young lady is not going to make it. And no one, and I'm just coming into the organization, and I picked up on it, and no one's taking the time for this young lady. And so I reached out to her. I called her and I said, hey, listen, professionally, we're in two different separate professions. I cannot mentor you in your profession as what your profession is. But let me tell you, sweetie, I can mentor the hell out of this thing and help get you where you need and want to be in terms of your next level of where you want to go. I said, I'm going to put it all out here for you. Tell me, but I'm not going to press you, and I'm not going to pressure you on it. And she didn't know how to take that, young Black, female. She didn't know how to take that. And so I let her sit with it. And then after about 3-4 weeks, I came back, revisited, and said, have you given it any thought? I just want to, but again, is no pressure. I'm just putting it out there. Sometimes we have to initiate it because they don't know how, like you said, Dr. Jones, they don't know how. So sometimes we have to step outside of ourselves, be led by the Spirit, and then say, I'm here for you. What can I do to help you on to your next, whatever that is? Because, and I think somebody also said too, I have a coach too. Yeah, I'm a therapist, but guess what? I got a life coach.
Come on.
And I talked to that chick.
Come on.
I talked to man.
Sometimes she laughed at me. And she'd be like, Dr. Holmes. I'm like, Dr. Holmes, nothing. This is Desarie talking. Hey, forget that.
But listen, this person put in here, Gwen, God law. as African American women, we've suffered a lot, and it takes being honest with ourselves, self-awareness to learn that everyone is not our enemies. That's a good point right there.
Ooh,
That
yeah.
that person looked at you, Dr. Desarie, crazy because she's like, what? What you talking about? Okay, but you discern, and she says this too, discernment is powerful and of God. You discern that she was gonna fall down and hurt herself. Okay.
Yes.
And
You just said
said,
something.
she was gonna skin her knees. Come on, let's go there. Skin her
Yes.
knees. Okay.
You
True
just said something.
Prince says, True Prince says it's too hard to trust when you always get hurt. That comes to the vulnerability that we have to have if you really want to get help. It all starts with you. Okay. Okay. You know, and Cherilyn says there's a huge gasp when I found that what I found is that most women do not understand the power of okay, there's a huge gap. What I have found is that most women do not understand the power of God because they see him as out there. They have not built that personal relationship with God because many of us were taught to fear God and that he is above us and unattainable until we get into trouble. It's about the relationship. I'll take it from here, Cheryl, and thanks so much for that. It's about the relationship that you got to have with God because he's going to help you to discern. So when the Dr. Desiree's, Angie, Brenda, Cherilyn come to you, you don't be looking at them to the side like I look. I'm like, what you want, girl? I don't trust you. Okay. You won't be looking at that because your spirit is going to speak to her spirit. Just like your spirit, when you don't like a person, you don't even know that person, but your spirit ain't right with this person. Okay. So it ain't them, it's you. More than likely, you need to start looking at yourself and stop this madness because time is running out. Okay. And you ain't getting no younger. Okay. But you still doing the same crazy game with different women. It's just like a Lifetime movie. You just get stuck on somebody and you start dogging them out. Let me get real and raw here. You start, you don't even know me, but you just pick, I'm going to get Marilyn. What? You don't even know me. But I'm
you don't know the west side of St. Louis out of Pastor Sims. You don't know the west side of St. Louis. She look pretty now, but you don't know that west side. Okay.
You don't know me. You don't know nothing about me. You need to try to see God about everybody.
Yes.
Don't keep on with all this madness. So I say all that to say we have had a great hour together, ladies. Okay. And I think that we have done a bang up job with this thing. I think we done beat it. I still want to beat it some more. Okay. I really do. I'm not letting this go. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get a hashtag.
We only touched the surface.
And when I get that hashtag, I'm gonna invite y'all all back together. And Cherilyn Vonn says she got 3 new sisters, the SISTAHS. Okay, because you got to find people that are like-minded, that you can deal with. So, but until I hear the music. I'm getting really hip here. Okay, I hear the music, so I know for a fact that we are coming to a close, and I'm really digging that. And here, I got to put my little banner up here. I'm going to do it. Okay, real talk. Just like Jerry Springer had that last word, I'm saying this: stop the hate and start the love. Okay? So text me next time, Monday, July the 11th, when I'm going to bring back sisters that's doing it, because I like sisters that are doing it, because those sisters might say, hey, I can do it too. Somebody out there gonna say I can do it too. All that stuff I've had in my head, I'm scared, I'm in fear, I can't move at first. But you know what? Guess what? Sisters got to start somewhere, just like this show, girl. Who don't you know? I started it. I'm gonna keep it going, and I ain't playing. So guess what? Until next time and stuff, hey, stop the hate, okay, and start the love. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.